Hello and welcome to We Women Want. This is our weekly show where we discuss issues related to women, and we have a lot of men viewers also, male viewers also tuning in. We talk about issues related to domestic violence, fashion, health issues from breast cancer to IVF to just plain and simple aging. We talk about laws that help women, laws that don't. As I said, fashion, nutrition. I mean, who says size 0 is normal at the end of the day? So a lot of issues are discussed here. This is where you come to for your problems and also for a lot of solutions. But today we are going to be focusing on the menopause. We have women maturing, but there are a lot of health issues which are distinctly women. What are the issues that a woman has to face as she matures and grows older? Because at the end of the day, healthy aging is really something that we have to focus on. Joining me on the show today is Ritu Mahajan. She is a co-founder and executive director of Mahajan Imaging and Labs. Dr. Geeta Prakash, she is a family physician in Max Healthcare. And Dr. Monica Mahajan, medical director at Max Healthcare. Monica, I'll begin with you. We keep talking about a lot of issues that are now, at least people are coming forward and talking about it. But what exactly can you define for us? What is menopause and what are the symptoms that one should look for?
So by definition, the age group for menopause would be anywhere between 45 and 55 years of age, when the estrogen levels in a woman fall so low that she can no longer conceive, and at the same time her periods stop. So anywhere just prior to that would be called as a perimenopausal age. So it's not one fixed number that every woman will have menopause at that particular age. Some women will menopause early, some will menopause late. But anything before 45 years is called as early menopause, and anything beyond 55 years is called as a delayed menopause. So it's not just the women related health issues that will happen because of menopause, because of the hormone changes in terms of your osteoporosis or your hot flashes and other things, but also a whole lot of other changes that are happening in the human body. And that leads to a series of illnesses and diseases, not specific only to women, but also increase in incidence of heart problems, increase in stroke, osteoporosis, fractures, urinary incontinence, just to name a few. Apart from that, of course, the incidence of cancers increases post-menopause. So any woman who stopped her periods, hasn't had any periods, and is not ovulating, the estrogen levels have fallen, would by definition qualify as reaching menopause.
Okay, that's actually put it very well. Dr. Geeta, now that we understand what menopause is, what would you say in terms of precautions that one, or not precautions is the wrong word, but what should one do to make sure that we have a healthy menopause?
First thing, I think it is a lot in the mind as well.
Achha.
Because you are going to go through this. You have the beginning of periods, they have to end at some time. So I think the reassurance that it's nothing to worry about, it's something that you can deal with on a day-to-day basis. And depending, like she said, depending on the kind of symptoms you have to just treat the symptoms as they come. A lot of women feel, that they're no longer women because they've reached menopause. I think that is the first thing you have to reassure them, that you are still as sexy and attractive and in fact more carefree and can do everything else that you want to, which you couldn't do when you were getting your periods. So I think that is the first thing that we should stress on. The second thing is, I think, like she said, there are too many symptoms. There's a lot of women who will come to you with vaginal dryness. So with the result, the relationship goes a little haywire in the sense that women don't want to have, intercourse because they feel it's too dry, too painful. So I think we should deal with that. Then mood swings, which is very difficult. Women sort of suddenly become cranky, start crying. The husbands come and say, I don't know what's wrong with my wife, Achhi bali thi, usko kya ho gaya?
Yeah.
So I think you have to educate the men in the lives of women, saying that, it's very important to understand that they're going through a tough time, and you shouldn't just scream or yell at them. I mean, be supportive where this is concerned. And then whatever other symptoms, like she said, UTIs become very frequent. So try and make sure they're drinking enough water, they're sort of being careful about, also using loos, because, sometimes as you grow older, you need to go to the loo more frequently. So they tend to use public toilets, so that you should be careful about. And then, of course, the usual small, things of depression, anxiety, not able to sleep well. So I think each symptom should just be treated generally, but reassurance is very important. At least I find that in our kind of practice.
And that is why I say I hope the male population is also listening to this. Because also, before I come to you, Ritu, is menopause also a male thing? Do men also have it? Maybe not the symptoms, the same symptoms,
Similar.
but the mood swings?
I'm sure.
Yes, so the male menopause is called as andropause.
Achha.
And they lose the male hormones. So it is also an entity which is now being discussed in a lot of platforms. And unfortunately, they don't experience so much of mood swings. It's more of their male ego which gets hurt. Probably with
Exactly, I
the
think so. You're right.
andropause rather than the
Yeah, because they
mood
suddenly feel,
swings.
they
Suddenly
don't have,
they feel low.
enough.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is true. So, what are the kind of they of course will tell us also about the checkups, but like for instance, Monica said the increase in cancer, maybe there is a thing. So, should do women come for more mammograms every year instead of every 2 years? What are the kind of checkups that are there?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Priya, for having me on this show.
No, good to have all of you. I've been trying to get all of
This is a
you.
very integral part, women's health for all of us. And I'm sure, like them, we're all trying to do our best to improvise that. Definitely, over the last, 32 years that we've been in this practice of diagnostics, we have seen a rise in the positive cases in CA breast. I'm sure they would agree with us on the statistics. Definitely a high increase. There is a lot of the ratio of the population of urban women getting CA breast is double than that of those in villages. Secondly, also advocate the fact that there is more hype about these things, more awareness is being created. So definitely more women are coming. Every year we see a definite increase in the number of mammograms. The machines have become so much better. We have the 3D mammogram, which, eminent doctors like them would endorse, with very minimal radiation and fabulous cuts. So you can pick up the CA breast at the beginning, at the onset, inception. So these are things that, we are really trying to promote in a big way for women all over. Similarly, for bone density, the silent killer, osteoporosis, Nobody gives it importance. But it is actually a silent disease, And that's so important again. A woman will just fall off this chair and there goes the bone.
Actually, that's, a lot of, I think old age diseases start with a hip fracture or some fracture.
Yeah. And then even the cardiac problems, we are seeing such positive things. We're doing a lot of CT coronary angiographies. We're really trying to push all our friends. Every evening we tell them, please come and get this done. It's really important. And some of them, of course, they run away, dar ke mare types. But those who come, we're really finding a lot of positive cases, So at least if you find some finding at the beginning of the disease, we are able to, get it done with, sorted out. So these are some very important issues that we are trying to deal with.
So regular checkups, I guess, are
hell of a lot. Blood
especially-
tests, all of them, vitamin
So what
D.
is the frequency of the checkups, Monica, that you would say?
So Priya, interestingly, the earlier recommendations for mammograms used to be 45 years and above. But the biggest authority for these recommendations is something called as USPTF, or the US Preventive Task Force, which decides all these guidelines. And last year, they changed the recommendations to say that mammography should begin at the age of 40 years and not 45.
Wow.
Do it every 2 years. And in between, you go for a regular gynae checkup and do a breast self-examination. And up to the age of 74 years, so from 40 to 74 is now the latest recommendations for mammography. You don't need to do them manually. You can do them once every 2 years because it does involve radiation. But the starting age now is 40, not 45. We are seeing a lot of young women suffering from breast cancer now. The pollution, the kind of food, the kind of lifestyle we have, the average age of a cancer patient is becoming younger and younger every day. So mammography recommendation now is 40 years to start with.
Okay. And also, Dr. Rogita, osteoporosis we talked about. Is
Right.
this more for women as they grow older, or men also? Why women more?
It's for both, but I think women are more prone to osteoporosis.
Why?
Also because the hormones become less, the bones are more fragile, And the other thing is, we see a lot of these medical checkups that we do where you'll get an X-ray done and they'll say the X-ray is clear in the lungs, but the bones are showing bone density is less. So those patients, I think you need to do the bone density a little earlier. Otherwise, of course, it's done a little later, like they say 40, 45 years of age. Usse pehle nahi karte hain. But if you find that this is there, or if the parents are highly osteoporotic or arthritic, then we like to do it a little earlier, the bone density. And this is important because we always sort of supplement it with the calcium levels or the vitamin D levels so that we know what is causing the osteoporosis. But like she said, we didn't pay very much attention to it earlier, I think. Now people are more aware of it because they've realized that if, you can literally, their bones are so weak, they crack like twigs. So the elderly people that I see also, a lot of, I go and see a lot of the elderly in my colony. I find a lot of them are just fallen off the bed and fractured themselves, or just sort of hit the side of something and fractured themselves because they've never thought of getting a bone density done. So I think that is a very important thing to do. And like I said, the calcium, vitamin D, levels should be checked on annual basis, however. So that's important.
So, osteoporosis, cancer, those are the big issues. What about mental health? Are there any checkups for that? Are there any tests?
I think it should begin from the family. In our company, Priya, as you know, we have 60% are women who are working for me. Okay? And it's a pity, most of them have the same thing. Tell them, beta, ab chalo karao ye test, But, they always sideline themselves. I'm sure even the four of us sitting here, we kind of just put ourselves at the back, and it's always your husband, your in-laws, your children. Their health is of prime importance. And there's nobody who's going to tell us, you come get it done.
Right.
So I think putting all this together, the mental well-being definitely starts from the house. And of course, nowadays you have such good counselors
Also,
that people can go to. But that, kind of gives a fear in your head. Ki, oh my God, going to a counselor means कि मैं पागल हो रही हूँ. मुझे कोई mental बीमारी
That's
है.
a point.
That's
That's
a
yeah,
real
that's
problem, And we are really facing these issues, because I'm dealing with so many women at work, and you feel bad for them because you can see them dying, itni bimari, but no. So we have to encourage women to come forward, look after them first,
And put themselves first.
Yes.
In fact, we did a show on breast cancer, and what was interesting is we got families to come, and this lady came with her sons, and she says, and they were telling me about their mother's care
Yeah,
and whatever,
very
which
good.
is very.
So we should educate our sons, not only our daughters.
No, absolutely.
And not in one way, in many ways, because
Trauma
you should make them
of a
understand.
cancer patient is not just the trauma of the patient. It is also
Family.
the care providers, the family that goes through that trauma, not just financially, but mentally, that in terms of support group for the care providers is as important as the cancer patient itself. The family is going through hell. It's not just the patient alone.
Yeah, it's both emotionally, mentally, financially, everything. When you look at it, I mean, everybody is involved in this whole looking after the patient.
But also care begins, yes, of course, you have to also at an early, how you are at your menopause self, I think, is how you are in your teens and your 20s also reflects. So what are the, spoke about vitamin D, calcium, what are the things that women should really be looking out for and should take exercise?
I think it's in terms of what you're eating, because your food habits start very early in life in terms of what kind of food fads you have, whether you are binge eating, whether you are eating on time
And
or
women
not.
tend
So
to
that
diet more.
I know, all the time. We are
so
always on a
what you
diet.
mentioned in terms of the size 0, that gets stuck in the mind at a very young age. So and that kind of lingers on even at menopause. So that perception, the bodily perception and the food habits don't happen at 50. They happen at 20, and that kind of drags on throughout life as to what a woman is eating. And secondly, what misconception is there is that gym and exercise is only meant for men. So women, even if they're careful about what they're eating, I think exercise, both in terms of cardiac as well as in terms of the functional training, in terms of weights, in terms of muscle toning, that is something which is totally a neglected area as far as women are concerned. And it is not that women don't need to exercise. That concept has to be shattered and has to be changed in terms of the fact that it's not just healthy eating, it is also that women need to exercise as much as they need to, at par with the men counterpart, because after menopause, the incidence of heart problems in women is going to be even more than men, because the protective effect of estrogen is gone.
Absolutely.
So you can't start suddenly exercising at menopause. You have to be in that grid in your younger days to be carrying on that habit at a later age. It doesn't suddenly start, and your habits don't suddenly change once you hit menopause. It's what you've been doing all your life.
Absolutely. I'm going to take a break and come back and keep this conversation going, but after a very short break. Hello and welcome back to We Women Want. We're here discussing menopause and other issues related to the mature women, health issues specifically. Before the break, Dr. Geeta, we were talking about the importance of exercise, and I saw you nodding very vehemently.
Very vigorously, because we find a lot of young girls who come to us who have polycystic ovaries. And the first thing they say is, "Acha, unko hormones de do, ye de do." No, first thing is exercise. So I think, like she said, if you start exercising right when you're younger and realize that, not like she said, not only cardio, weight training. So many young girls to come to us who are slim, but they don't have any muscle mass. They've just lost weight because they're trying to look slim. But fortunately, in all segments of life now, people are realizing you have to be real people. You can't just be these twiggies or tiny little people who are supposed to be the fashion kind of thing.
Size 0 models.
Size 0 models नहीं, अभी हमको देखो, हम तो size 100 हैं, फिर भी कर रहे हैं.
And these are the ones, these 16, 18-year-olds we have
Yeah.
seen in our plays. They are highly osteoporotic.
Exactly.
Because they don't eat anything. You see, they cut down on all
They are
the
not
meals
eating
which are
at
important.
all.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
only want
eating
to
at
have
all.
maybe just fruit, or
Yeah.
they'll have just juices, or they'll have only, very limited kind of food. When you need a whole, you need the full kind of wholesome kind of a meal. They don't realize
But
that.
there is another, and another issue is autoimmune. I'm seeing a lot of people. Do you have tests for that? Then I'll ask them to come in to detect. Or
We do, but I think I would leave
Yeah,
that to
Monica
the
to do,
expert
yeah.
to speak about.
because is that something a throwback of post-COVID or the times we live in? Because a lot of people that I know are now discovering autoimmune and.
So again, partly it is the environment which is to blame, but also it is the awareness that is there, in the sense that if you look at most of the data, most people earlier on would get diagnosed hypothyroid, autoimmune hypothyroid at a very, very advanced stage of hypothyroidism. Now the good part is that since the tests are available, you are picking up even the minor variations in autoimmune hypothyroidism at a very early stage. You see that a woman is having an autoimmune issue with the thyroid, you start treating it so that her chances of having a healthy baby improves. You are diagnosing autoimmune arthritis situations, lupus, autoimmune related arthritis problems at a very early stage before the joint deformities happen. So it is partly the media which is responsible for the kind of good work that you're doing in terms of creating the social awareness. And secondly is what they are doing in terms of providing the tests for the masses so that it's picked up early and the people are aware that, okay, if this is what I'm experiencing, this is what it is likely to be. So
And
both
is it
the awareness
curable?
and the availability. Autoimmune conditions as of now are not curable, but the good part is that now so many medicines are available that you can avoid most of the devastating complications as far as autoimmunes are concerned. You would see a lot of women earlier on who would have those crooked fingers because of joint deformities in rheumatoid arthritis. We don't see that kind of bad arthritis now. Most women would start rheumatoid treatment so early that they don't end up with crooked hands and crooked legs and feet. So the availability of tests, the availability of very good medication for autoimmune conditions has improved the scenario to a major extent. Again, for women with infertility and autoimmune conditions, we now have good medicines which are available, and women can have a normal pregnancy and have a normal baby. So medicine has advanced quite a bit, but if you say a cure for autoimmune as of now, we really don't have anything to
Controllable.
Yeah.
Control.
That's it.
And also,
Yeah.
Dr. Geeta, we were discussing how cancer now people are, at an earlier age, or you should have more tests done. Is it because of the stressful times they're living in? There is also a myth that if women who have had children have a more healthier old age than those who have not had kids. Is that a myth?
I
Is
don't
there
think that's really true. I think it's the way you sort of do your, your daily meals, your exercises. I think those are what are more important. And of course, your genes. You have to sort of rely on them for whatever. So, like she was saying, in the in the villages, there it isn't so much. I don't know whether the villagers come in to do so many tests. That may be one of the reasons also why
that is,
there is the level of cancer is less there. उधर वो बोलते हैं फोड़ा हो गया मर गई. बुढ़ी हो गई मर गई. They don't really realize what they're doing, because I get a lot of these people, the poorer, a lot of people who come to my clinic, they bring their parents and grandparents and children from the village just to be seen. And I find that for them, I would say the only thing is, I think certain ways they live healthier because the air is more fresh, they're growing their own vegetables and
Yeah,
things like
that's
that.
exactly
So
the
that is
whole
probably
point,
why
yeah.
they are more healthy than we are. So in fact, they say हम इधर आके बीमार हो जाते हैं, घर में तो सब ठीक है.
हाँ.
You ask them for their history. A lot of the CGHS patients are now coming. So you ask them कि तुम कहाँ से हो, and he'll say हमारे गांव में तो कोई बीमार नहीं होता है, इधर आके सारे बीमार हो जाते हैं. So which in a way I think is true. But also we are now picking up things much earlier than you would in the villages. So it's both ways, I think. But yes, you're right. I think it's the environment, the food habits, the mental
lifestyle,
stress that everybody
stress,
goes
yeah.
through, and the targets you have to reach. I mean, I look at it mentally, everybody is stressed. You look at 40-year-olds, they're trying to reach, their best level of performance, as it were, and they're suffering from so many problems. They have high blood pressure. हमारे घर में तो किसी को भी नहीं है, but we have high blood pressure, or we have diabetes. Why? It's obviously related to stress and environment. So things are happening much earlier. Sometimes you take a history and say, आपके parents को कुछ है, they say, हाँ, but उनको तो 60 साल में हुआ था. I said, जो 60 में होता, अब 40 में हो रहा है. So if they have it, I have to take a history, because there's a chance one of the kids is going to get it. So that way it is true that, things are happening much earlier than they should. But it's just the kind of lifestyle.
I think we
it
are
is.
ourselves responsible. The kind of food we are eating, the amount of
Exactly.
carcinogens in our food
Exactly.
that are responsible for cancer in the cities, they are
True.
eating much healthier, chemical-free food
In the
villages.
villages.
The
Yeah.
air quality is so much cleaner in the
Even the
villages. So we
water.
are responsible
Yes,
in
we
our
are
own
responsible.
making for this
It is the
devil.
price we pay for technology and for wanting to live what they think is a much happier life. हम गांव से निकल के आए हैं क्योंकि here we can earn much more and we can send money back for our parents, not realizing you're really killing yourself being over here.
Every morning you wake up and find out whether Grab 4 is on or Grab 4 is off, but nobody wants to leave Delhi.
Yes,
People who are
that's
living
true.
in Delhi will stay in Delhi.
will
So
stay
it's
in
like
the
that.
livelihood
I
is there.
It's
know.
like
That
that.
is,
I guess.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's actually literally a work-life
Because
balance.
you are
Your
in
life is
places
in the
like
balance.
Delhi, you get
Yes,
tested and
yes.
get diagnosed.
But Dr. Mahajan, Saritu, there is also, physical age, test for long physical longevity or whatever. What about for Alzheimer, dementia? Do you have any tests?
No, we have done a few, sittings with some of the world's best places, MIT, Stanford, all of those, where we are doing studies and we still have to publish it, where we have done functional MRI for such patients,
So you
So,
can
They've
detect
come
at
out with
least.
very good stuff.
Yep.
We've done a study with the chanting of Om. They were made to chant Om while MRI करते हुए. तो बहुत फर्क आया है.
The impact.
Yes, we've done a lot of such studies. We're a lot into research. So that's a very important vertical we are.
I will talk to you more on that.
Yeah.
But do you also, when someone comes to you, especially the older patient, do you also look into the mental history,
So important, yeah.
I think the backbone of every physical illness is a mental
It's all
challenge.
in the head.
And half the times I wonder when I go home that am I a physician or am I a psychiatrist? And then I'll tell my husband, oh, that woman came to talk to me about her mother-in-law. This one came to me to talk to me about her
that's
daughter-in-law. So, I mean, half of their problems are not physical. 80% of their problems are
Mental.
because of a mental stress or the kind of environment that they are staying. But there's another flip side to it, Priya, in the sense that there are studies which have been done the world over in terms of what is called as a gender bias. So which means that if 10 men and 10 women go to the emergency with similar symptoms of chest pain, the men will be tested for a heart attack and all the relevant tests will be done, whereas most women will be written off as she's having a panic attack, she's having anxiety disorder, and people will miss out on heart attacks in women thinking that she's only having a panic attack and she's anxiety prone or depressed, those kind of things. So that in medical parlance is called as gender bias. So we see a lot of gender bias where women genuinely have medical problems, but you write them off to say that, oh, she's having a bad day and she's having a anxiety depression issue and we should not investigate that. So that is the other side of the coin, which is also true. So not every woman who's coming to you with symptoms is anxiety depression. You have to be listening to what she's saying. You have to examine her thoroughly and put her at par with the male patients and then investigate appropriately. That is what should be done.
That's actually very interesting. I didn't realize that bias was there also. But quickly before I end, also the dangers of over medication. Again, you know, we had discussed earlier another show about like vitamin D is really misused. That I think at an older age it becomes even more dangerous. So how would you, how many checkups a month would you say, a year would you say for a person who's above say 55 or 60 is a senior citizen, so 60?
You know, initially when they come for their checkup, we do all the tests. Depending on that, you sort of prescribe medication. But I always like to follow it up after 3 to 4 months to see whether she's not going over and then reduce the dose as per whatever the reports are. That is one, and also her symptoms. If she's come with severe knee pain or backache and she finds that she's feeling better, then you should follow it up and see whether. So maybe 3 to 4 months after you start medication, if it's very low and you're giving injections, then definitely you need to follow up and see that you're not giving too much of it, because that can also cause a problem.
What are the medicines, vitamins that are misused, over-medicated?
Vitamins in general, you know, if anyone comes to you and says, मैं तो बहुत थका हुआ, मेरे को कोई vitamin दे दो. That's what happens most of the time. Because especially in general practice, they come to you and say, I am just feeling so tired, I get up lethargic, I can't keep my eyes open. It's not because he's not sleeping enough. They just want some vitamin magic pills which will make them feel better, which is when we tend to sort of give medication, but we always say पहले तुम test करा लो.
It's the other way around also.
And then,
वो ऑर्थोपेडिक्स के पास जाएगा तो एक विटामिन प्रिस्क्राइब होगा, गायनी के पास जाएगा तो सेकंड थर्ड न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट के पास जाएगा तो तीसरा. Nobody will bother to look at the earlier prescriptions to see how many he is on. So half of the problem with excess of vitamins is because he's going for polypharmacy with multiple doctors without bothering to disclose, and neither the doctor trying to find out how many vitamins he's already on. So there are times when you find people are having 4 or 5 different vitamins, and obviously the levels will
same
be vitamin, different brands. So
they can't differentiate.
So that's the problem, yes. But I think fortunately, Monica, where we are concerned, we do kind of take a full history. And if he says he's got a knee pain, I always ask, और कोई डॉक्टर को दिखाया था तो उसकी पर्ची लेके आओ, you know, so that you know what's happening, because we are more holistic, I think, with the
Americans are a multi-billion-dollar vitamin industry. Okay,
Yeah, so
every American will have more vitamins rather than the amount of food
and in
that
fact
they consume.
supplements I'm not going into right now because I'll have to call you all back for a whole new show on over medication of supplements. But for now, thank you so much for coming and being a part of this, and thank you all for watching this. Stay tuned for more such shows.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.